Hi, good morning. Welcome to a special edition of Talking Shit on the Commentary. It's time for Talking Shit. Well, I haven't said that in a long time. We got the trial over for the sniper. Everything white always turn out right. The guy was, of course, convicted. He killed a man. He is going to get the sentencing, which is going to be life in prison. He will not receive the death penalty. And it's all white and clean. Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman, is still running around denying his girlfriend and family certain inalienable rights for peace and freedom. They are constantly being off and on threatened by this man who drives around with road rage and waves weapons around still. Apparently, Eric Holder from the Justice Department didn't feel that he needed to be prosecuted for violating Trayvon's rights when he sought him out as a troublemaker, or as he said in the transcript, those fuckers. I guess he was talking about the black people that the witness said that his family sat around and talked about, the blacks. And I guess Eric Holder didn't feel that Trayvon was targeted because of his skin color. So now we move on to Benjamin Netanyahu being openly invited as somewhat of a complaining immigrant. Somewhat, he is part of a sacred immigration policy drawn up by John Boehner, inviting this motherfucker over here on March 3rd. But he won't, Boehner, sign the legislation off in regards to President Obama not wanting to treat the immigrants who already live here as turds. So he's going to accept the immigrative type behavior of Benjamin coming on over here with his free advice on the money that he want to get from us, and the money that they're going to keep stealing from the Palestinians, and the money just adds up as he and his wife go and get their house cleaned for over $2,000 a month, which is more than the average working citizen makes in Israel. You know, and the Israeli government is where I reach toward help from the community. I am not bastardizing all Jewish people. I am not racist as far as knowing the difference between a government and its people. And I believe that Benjamin Netanyahu is great at sort of silencing those critics of that government in their own country. There's a Jewish community within Israel of protests who are not heard from. We don't hear about protests from those who live in Israel who are against the genocide and the monophobia that goes on with how they're going to be mad because the Palestinians have a source of income that the Israeli government is trying to destroy. I believe that they use that region like a little toy and they do whatever they want. You know, I'm not saying that there hasn't been any murder from the Palestinians toward the Israelites, but there's been no real, I don't see a lot of that. I see harm to children in both areas. I see the shock and the stunning pictures of abuse and bloodshed. You know, I see that the Israeli government is willing to use a certain criminal court system to heighten their own handle of things, but when it comes to the fucking ICC, they disrespect people who believe like you and me. And this Israeli government is out of control. This Israeli government is out of control. This Israeli government is violating international law. This Israeli government is trying to act like we didn't see what we saw. You know, and this Israeli government is being ran by a man that's out of his mind. And a friend of mine told me, even if he steps down, there's always going to be a racist clown. You know, and the idea that somehow the Palestinians owe money in regards to the fact that the Israeli government has destroyed that region, keeps them from having electricity and a constant flow of energy, power, and respect for themselves, is bullshit. And they're going to charge them money for that. You know, it's total crap. You know, it's bullshit. And then John Boehner, who won't have respect for the decency of Americans and people who are in this country and in need of some sort of immigration assistance legally and legislatively to hold up this legislation with a threat to the DHS, Department of Homeland Security. It's just, what is wrong with the decrepiting, this is ridiculous, and it's all about the control and the money and the bullshit. I'm covering a lot of areas because now we're going to go into Bill Riley, who I've been warning y'all about with the Fox News bullshit, with the Fox News. Okay, Bill has been called out, and instead of just kind of bowing out like Brian Williams has done, he's talking shit, basically threatening people, and almost sound like willing to wave a gun. I mean, he's telling people over at NBC and Mother Jones that he basically, I guess, going to smash their phones. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's threatening people and calling it so. And I'm surprised that somebody hasn't brought this motherfucker up on charges. His ISIS way of handling what people are calling him out on what he had to say when he was allegedly covering these incidents and stuff is part of his own personal bullshit. Clean it up. Clean it up. Don't go around talking about you gonna fuck somebody up. You ain't no thug, motherfucker. A never was can't be a wannabe. That's the name of this video. A never was can't be a wannabe. A never was can't be a wannabe. A never was cannot be something that it has never been. And it's almost a spiritual universal sin to hear this bullshit over and over and over again as people are oppressed and suffering, and you take the fucking money. You take the fucking money. You take the fucking money, and then you don't investigate Wall Street. You don't look at Wall Street. And Eric Holder, what are you talking about? So you didn't prosecute Zimmerman for any kind of reasonable doubt situation. He said he couldn't prove it beyond doubt, okay? What are you going to prove about the cop that suffocated Eric Gardner? What are you going to do about the cop that gunned down Michael Brown? Is there no justice for anybody that's a little shade toward Brown? None whatsoever can be found. But then this motherfucker, the sniper, everybody loved the sniper. The sniper is a beautiful thing. He killed all these Arabs, and he killed all these Muslims, and he killed all these people, and then his murderer killed him, and now his murderer is going to get life in prison. He's not going to get the death penalty. And the guy who killed the hero is going to be murdered, punished, And that justice went happily ever after, like a Disney movie. But then you look at all the blacks and the struggle and the people of color, and things aren't so groovy. And then it's called race baiting. See? It's called race baiting. It's not called hating and discrimination and inequality. That's not what it's called. You're race baiting when you notice other races hating against your group. The American Indian is treated like shit in this country. Down in Santa Monica, where all that property is owned by a certain tribe, everybody just shuts that idea down, and they build and they thrive. It's ridiculous. It's like people who are treated like shit will eventually not want you to do that to them, and they will seek freedom, and you better be careful. Shit. Bill Riley, you have allowed our company over here, this setup, this is the name of this show is Talking Shit. We're produced by a black man with hands production plan. Rah! And Bill Riley gives us the permission to continue to close our shows this year with our slogan, Fuck Fox No!